Joining me live in the studio is resident senior fellow at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, David Wroe. David, the argument over the nuclear facility, how much damage has been done, what needs to be done next, do you think, in terms of clarifying exactly where Iran's nuclear capability is?
Yeah, so look, I mean, they'll continue to gather intelligence, they'll continue to analyse it. Hopefully we get a clearer picture over time. But frankly, this is kind of agonising to watch because Trump made, I think, the right call in bombing Fordow and bombing the other nuclear facilities. What he needs to do now is actually use the leverage that he's got, whether it's 6 months or 6 years that the Iranian nuclear program has been set back, he needs to use this leverage of Iran being in a weakened position to drag them to negotiations, force them to agree not to resume their nuclear program, not to resume all their other malign activities around the region, and in return offer them a pathway forward that is peaceful. Instead, what we're seeing is these almost sort of pathological fixations that he's got on proving that he's right. And so the whole argument, the whole conversation now is bogged down in this, is it fully destroyed? Is it obliterated? All this kind of thing. But we're talking about nuclear weapons here, Kieran. Like, we're not, this is not the size of his crowd at an inauguration speech. It's not even public perceptions about the outcome of an election, as important as that was in 2020. We're talking about a rogue, theocratic, deeply hostile regime having a nuclear weapon. And here we are arguing about, are you being disrespectful to the president and to the pilots of the flights if you question that it's been obliterated? It reminds me just quickly a worse case of, remember when George W. Bush landed on the aircraft carrier and declared mission accomplished? This feels a bit like that to me. He's basically saying, right, that's it, we're done. Problem solved. On
the debate around defence spending, he has got NATO on board, largely, except Spain, with all sorts of drama around it, but the deal is done, and with the red carpet having been rolled out for President Trump at The Hague.
Yeah. And I think, look, Mark Rutte, the Secretary-General of NATO, has handled this brilliantly. There was a certain sort of theatricality to it, but it seemed to work well. It was the whole operation was designed to keep Trump calm, to allow him to leave having claimed a victory. I mean, look, it is a win for Trump, certainly. I think Europe recognised, of course, given Russia's aggression against Ukraine and the threat that Russia poses to the rest of Europe looking forward, they accepted that they had to increase their defence spending, for sure. But certainly Trump's pressure helped. It was a good outcome for Trump. It's a good outcome for everyone, frankly. And also they got him to commit to coming to Europe's defence if it is attacked. As per NATO Article 5, he had been equivocal on that the day before on the flight on the way over. He's left committed to it. Who knows? He might say something different next week, but it wouldn't have been in anyone's interests for there to be a big blow-up in The Hague and for Trump to leave in a huff saying, right, Europe's on their own.
What are the implications for Australia then, and also for our defence spending, yes, but also the Trump relationship further to that?
I think it'll only increase the pressure on Australia to increase our own defence spending. I completely understand Anthony Albanese's position that we don't want to set an arbitrary figure and then find ways to spend it. Realistically, I don't think anyone's seriously proposing that they do that. There are things that the government can spend money on right now to improve our defence capability: drones, missiles, air and missile defence, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, readiness, making sure all of our ships and planes are maintained fully, personnel, all these sorts of things. We should be doing that anyway. If we do it, we would get to the sort of 3% plus ballpark. So extra pressure to do that. I think the lessons for dealing with Trump are that, well, look, as politically uncomfortable as it might be, and NATO had the benefit of having Mark Rutte, who's not an elected in an elected position, taking all of the daddy and the grovelling message that he sent. The other NATO elected leaders didn't have to go through that experience of sucking up to Trump, basically. Albanese, Miles, Penny Wong, etc., don't have that luxury. They're going to have to figure out how to do it, but really, finding a way to manage Trump at that surface level while getting what you need underneath it, there are some lessons there.
That's what you need to do.
Yep.
You've got to do the diplomatic dance. Thank you, David Wroe from ASPI.
No worries.
Appreciate your insights as always. Thanks.